We should really learn how to play the real way.
I like our way.
Friends Phoebe and Joey are each other's special favorites.
But if I get to turn on the charm tomorrow, I'm not wasting any more of it over here with you guys. Well, actually, I got a little bit saved for you, Phoebes.
But you know what? When the revolution comes, I will have to destroy you all. Not you, Joe.
They have a natural chemistry, find each other attractive, and are on the same mental wavelength.
I found my identical hand twin!
Oh, you're so lucky.
So why is it that while the 4 other members of the friend group pair off, we never get to see Phoebe or Joby become an epic love story?
You know, Monica and Chandler are married. Ross and Rachel are having a baby. Maybe you and I should do something.
All in good time, my love.
The show uses Phoebe and Joey to present a counterpoint to the idea that cross-gender friendship is nothing more than a prologue to romance. These besties exemplify the charms of keeping it platonic.
Are you asking me to have a renaissance?
Sure.
All right. Although I don't think we really need one, baby. I never stopped loving you.
So here's our take on how Phoebe proved that friendship is true love by another name. This video is brought to you by Dashlane, a must-have app that's like an online bodyguard, keeping your important information safe. With Dashlane, you can generate and store complex passwords, autofill online forms, and do your online shopping in one click, all with total security. So click the link in our description below, dashlane.com/thetake, to download Dashlane and get a free 30-day premium trial. Or use promo code THETAKE to take 10% off an annual subscription. 5 years before Friends premiered, When Harry Met Sally asked whether men and women could be just friends.
Men and women can't be friends because the sex part always gets in the way.
And its verdict?
I came here tonight because when you realize you want to spend the rest of your life with somebody, you want the rest of your life to start as soon as possible.
Even before Harry and Sally, the romance with friends was in the 80s zeitgeist. In John Hughes' original screenplay for Pretty in Pink, Molly Ringwald's Andy ended up with her best friend Ducky.
God, I would have died for you.
When this did poorly with test audiences, the movie was rewritten to pair Andy with popular guy Blaine, but Hughes wasn't happy about this. So he wrote 1987's Some Kind of Wonderful, which had essentially the same story, just with swapped genders and the happily ever after for the best friends in love.
I'm sorry. I didn't know.
Yeah, well, you're stupid. I always knew you were stupid.
Since the 80s, countless movies and TV shows have come to the same conclusion, that if a straight man and woman start off with a close platonic bond, it will inevitably blossom into romance.
I'm sitting here with my best friend in the world, and my palms are sweating. I've known you forever, but I feel like I'm seeing you for the first time tonight.
Friends itself gave us 2 iconic examples of this. The show used both couples to underline that a great friendship is the foundation of an out-of-this-world romance.
I turned to a friend for comfort, and instead, I found everything that I'd ever been looking for my whole life.
I mean, do you think you can ever have both? You know, someone who's like your best friend, but then also can make your toes curl.
But at the same time, others have critiqued the expectation that opposite-sex best friends were meant to be lovers. In My Best Friend's Wedding, Julia Roberts' character is almost like a viewer who's seen When Harry Met Sally too many times.
Choose me. Marry me. Let me make you happy.
But her assumption that she and her male bestie must be made for each other is wrong.
Michael's chasing Kimmy.
Yes.
You're chasing Michael.
Yes.
Who's chasing you? Nobody. Get it?
There's your answer, Kimmy.
No.
Yes! Jules, you are not the one!
Likewise, in Grey's Anatomy, best friends Izzy and George sleep together and think they're in love, only for them to realize they have zero chemistry.
The sex. With Izzy.
So, if you buy into what rom-coms tell you and leap to the conclusion that you must be in love with your best friend, you could end up doing irreparable damage to a treasured relationship that's already perfect as it is.
It's like we're not us anymore. Everything used to be so easy.
Critiques like these expose a problem with the loving your friend trope. It belittles opposite-sex friendship, turning it into nothing more than a prelude to romance. We can see this in the idea of the friend zone, which Friends itself helped popularize when Joey described Ross's season 1 situation with Rachel.
You waited too long to make your move, and now you're in the friend zone.
The friend zone is not somewhere you want to stay. It's a purgatory that the friend with feelings hopes to move beyond, once the friend who doesn't have feelings yet realizes what they've been overlooking or repressing.
I'm laying the groundwork. Yeah, I mean, every day I get just a little bit closer to,
priesthood.
Countless friendship romances pay lip service to not wanting to wreck a friendship.
I'm kind of worried about what it might do to our friendship.
I know.
Generally, though, this is just a fear to be overcome. The conversation underlines how much they care, but the suggestion is they'd be crazy or cowardly to turn down a shot at true love for a lesser connection.
Well, I think it's safe to say that our friendship is effectively ruined.
We weren't that close anyway.
The fear of ruining the friendship also comes up when Monica is under the impression that Joey has a crush on Phoebe.
Is it something you'd be interested in? I don't know.
But for Phoebe, this is a legitimate fear.
No, I can't. We're friends. No. Oh, no, I don't want to risk what we have.
Being just friends is often framed as a negative compromise when it's not working out to be more.
I don't want to be just friends anymore.
The phrase more than friends contains in it our society's value judgment that romantic love is more than friend love.
I think he's more than my friend. You're my boyfriend, right?
But Phoebe and Joey show us that friendship can also be a conscious choice and a preferable alternative to dating. A platonic connection could mean so much to you that you care more about protecting it than starting an impulsive romance with that person. And even if male-female friendships are still the exception rather than the rule, more of us should take inspiration from Phoebe. Studies have shown that cross-gender friendship for kids helps them avoid the pressure to conform to rigid, stereotypical gender roles. Going back to when Harry met Sally, Harry's stance that men and women can't be friends has one big caveat.
No man can be friends with a woman that he finds attractive. He always wants to have sex with her.
This missing element of physical attraction explains many other on-screen male-female friendships that do work so well. Whether the lack of a spark is due to sexual orientation,
I thought it was my naked body that did nothing for you.
It didn't. It still doesn't.
obvious incompatibility,
Ron, what are you doing at a city council meeting? Are you lost? Are you hurt?
or just not being each other's type.
Our relationship is purely platonic if Plato had an elderly, shut-in aunt.
You know, Plato did have a gay relationship with Socrates.
I mean, the only way you're like Socrates is you have the body hair of a Greek man.
But what makes Phoebe and Joey an interesting case study is that they are attracted to each other on some level.
When I first met you, you know what I said to Chandler? I said, excellent butt, great rack.
I just think that you don't expect someone so hot to be so sweet.
In season 1, Joey falls head over heels for Phoebe's identical twin, Ursula, with an intensity he almost never shows for a woman.
I don't know, I like her, you know? She's different. There's, something about her.
That you like. We get it. You like her. Great.
The storyline suggests that the only thing stopping him from feeling this way about Phoebe is that she's too familiar.
Phoebe's Phoebe. Ursula's hot.
When Phoebe pretends to be Ursula, Joey remarks,
"You have never looked so beautiful."
Which implies that when you remove the considerations holding him back, he finds Phoebe even more appealing than her twin.
Wow, you look stop eating hot.
We also see Phoebe and Joey kiss multiple times, and this is not how most of us behave with our friends.
Maybe that's one thing you can cross off your list.
Oh, yeah.
Ultimately, the show even hints that, in some buried way, Phoebe are truly in love.
Well, what if I marry Ross? Or Joey?
You wouldn't.
Why then don't they act on their feelings?
How you doing?
To begin with, their very closeness itself may put Joey off. The rare times he gets passionate about a woman, it's generally because he can't have her, as we see from his flings with Ursula and the actress Kate.
When we're on stage, I get to kiss her and touch her, but then she goes home with the director, and it's like somebody's ripping out my heart.
He considers both of the other women in the friend group as romantic partners, but note the timing. He dreams about Monica when she's in a secure, intimate partnership with Chandler, and he falls for Rachel when she's pregnant with Ross's baby. His mind will allow him to see them in this light only when they're unavailable due to an emotional tie to one of his closest male friends.
There's this woman that I like a lot, but it can't happen.
Meanwhile, he never seriously entertains going for it with Phoebe, and maybe that's precisely because there's a good chance she'd be willing to give it a shot.
Yeah, crushes happen all the time. I know I've had them for all you guys. Well, except for Ross and Chandler.
Joey is a notorious ladies' man.
How you doing?
But he seems to place women he really cares about in an idealized, desexualized category. His Catholic upbringing and a childhood surrounded by sisters he felt a duty to protect have given him an internalized Madonna whore complex, which splits his affection from his sexual feelings. He doesn't attach feelings to the women he wants to sleep with, while he views female friends and family members as higher beings too good for sex.
You can't be pregnant because you have to have sex to get pregnant.
When the friends bring home Ursula's porn video, believing it stars Phoebe, Joey is adamant that seeing his friend this way would be the ultimate disrespect.
This is wrong, you guys. Phoebe's our friend. Well, I'm not gonna watch it.
So, we shouldn't be surprised that, at the end of the series, he's the only friend who hasn't found a committed, long-term relationship that integrates both love and desire.
Of course, we'd have an apartment over the garage where Joey could grow old.
We see similar behaviors in another TV ladies' man, Mad Men's Don Draper. For him, sex and emotional connection are also very much an either-or. And just like with Phoebe and Joey, Don's refusal to cross a physical line with his mentee Peggy is framed as proof of his deep love and respect for her.
It's not because you aren't attractive. I have to keep rules about work. I have to.
The biggest reason that Phoebe and Joey never sleep together, though, is more inspirational. They choose their friendship over a potential love affair. This is made explicit when Ursula is blowing Joey off, and Phoebe pretends to be her twin to let him down gently.
Then yeah, it's because of Phoebe. So, it's either her or me.
Then I'm sorry.
Joey has no doubts about picking his friend over the hot lover who looks just like her. And he stands by this friendship first principle, as we see when his girlfriend Janine hates Monica and Chandler.
If you guys are gonna be fighting all the time, I don't think we can be together. It just can't work, okay? It can't.
And when he decides that he and Rachel don't work as a couple because they're too good as friends.
Well, how come Monica and Chandler could do it?
I guess they weren't as good friends as we are.
What's great about Phoebe and Joey together is that their lack of a sexual relationship never feels like a loss. They embody the romance of friendship, a theme that's at the heart of this show. Phoebe do things usually reserved for romance, like have date nights.
Oh, I have dinner plans with Joey. We get together about once a month to discuss the rest of you guys.
And think about the future.
If neither of you are married by the time you're 40, you're gonna marry Joey.
Yeah, we shook on it. Yeah, but believe me, that is not how he wanted to seal the deal.
When Phoebe is pregnant and Joey goes vegetarian to balance out her meat cravings,
no extra animals would die. You'd just be eating my animals.
Joey, I can't believe you would do that for me.
He's acting like a spouse who wants to support his wife. And when Joey fails to see that their friend dates should be treated with the same respect as regular ones,
Hey, you can cancel plans with friends if there's a possibility for sex.
An outraged Phoebe makes him see why this is so important.
I don't accept this rule. When we make plans, I expect you to show up, okay? I can't just be a way to kill time till you meet someone better.
It's also symbolic that while Joey isn't interested in dating Phoebe himself, he sets her up with her future husband, Mike. He's also the one to officiate her wedding.
I hope you know how much you mean to me.
So Joey is responsible for bringing a true romantic love into Phoebe's life. As friends who are attracted but don't date, Phoebe are a seriously rare specimen in film and TV, so you can see why Harry thought he had a point. One of the few other believable examples can be found in another popular 90s sitcom. Seinfeld's Jerry and Elaine have dated in the past, but they legitimately found that they like each other more as friends.
Your standards are too high.
I went out with you.
That's because my standards are too low.
Despite the scarcity of Phoebe-like couples, many of the best, completely non-sexual male-female friendships on screen are also unconventional love stories about platonic soulmates. It's refreshing to watch two people who truly adore each other and want to spend time together without it being about sex.
Why would anybody ever eat anything besides breakfast food?
People are idiots, Leslie.
And the nuance to the way these pairs defy traditional categorization reflects the wide range of relationships that exist in real life.
Obviously, our relationship, however you define it, mentor-mentee,
sister-employee work oracle,
is more interesting than some dating scenario. And obviously, to ruin what we have with a tawdry yet expert sexual encounter would have been a mistake.
Matt LeBlanc revealed that he and Lisa Kudrow actually pitched the idea that their characters had been friends with benefits all along, but the show creators weren't interested.
You think you and I should hook up?
Oh, we do. But not just yet.
Keeping Phoebe and Joey as not just friends, but purely friends, was a conscious choice that validated the show's central thesis, that friends are the true loves of our lives.
I always felt that you and I have a special bond.
The other four main characters showcase why it's amazing to be in a relationship that's built on friendship, but Phoebe are the important flip side of that. A man and a woman can be soulmates without being lovers, and this friendship plays a crucial, permanent role in their lives.
None of you are gonna get to live with me in my great big hand-shaped mansion. Except you, Phoebes, you can live in the thumb.
In the end, these two not getting together is what saves Friends from dividing its central six into three neat pairs, and ultimately reinforcing the cliche that friendship is no more than a transitional stage on the road to marriage. So while Phoebe or Joby shippers might pine for what could have been, the truth is, all along, this really was the central, defining love story of the show.
You know, boyfriends and girlfriends are gonna come and go, but this is for life.
This video is brought to you by Dashlane, an online password manager and digital wallet that keeps your personal information safe and secure. Dashlane generates complex passwords, then stores and autofills them across all your devices, so you never have to click Forgot Password again. Dashlane is like an internet bodyguard, safe and secure. They use the strongest encryption there is to protect your personal information. You can even store your credit card and passport details, so that online shopping and filling out forms is as easy as a single click. Plus, you can share passwords with your friends and family without actually having to reveal the password. If you have online logins, you need this app. So click the link in our description below, dashlane.com/thetake, to download Dashlane and get a free 30-day premium trial. Or use promo code THETAKE to take 10% off an annual subscription.